What's up, everyone? Welcome back. It's David from the Real Sports Science Podcast, and we've got episode number 33 for you today, where we talk about ice baths or hot packs, the recovery dilemma, part 2. So last time we talked about more ice therapy or cold therapy, cold water immersion. Should you ice injuries? Well, we're going to the other side today. We're talking about hot packs, saunas, steam rooms, hot tubs. So make sure you come along. We hope you enjoy it. We got some sports news, and as always, we end off with some quick fire questions. It's Matt and David. Let's go.
Welcome everybody to this episode of the RSS Podcast. He's David, I'm Matt. Episode 32. Let's go.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Episode number 33, ice baths or hot packs, the recovery dilemma, part 2. It's Saturday morning. I'm still waking up. I got my coffee here. Ooh, I also got overnight oats that I've been trying. Have you ever done overnight oats, Matt?
Yeah, but I was at uni with my mates and we didn't know how to properly do it, so we just yes, short story, yes, long story, it was dodgy.
Well, I don't know if this is, it tastes good. So I just have oats and then milk and then 2 scoops of CMP whey protein, because your boy got to get the protein in. So I made 2 the other day, and one I put the chocolate one in that I have, and then the other one I put the jammy one in. So like one of the 3 flavors of the donut line with Project D, and it is good. Put some yogurt on top of that. Each scoop has 21 grams of protein. So I put 2 scoops in because I was like, why stop at 1, right? Push yourself. So this has I'm eating. I'm like, man, I'm getting really full. I was like, that's because there's bare protein in here.
So yeah, it's like what's that trend on what's that trend when it goes, oh, would you like 1 scoop of protein or double it and pass it on to the next guy? And you were the next guy that said, yeah, mate, I'll take 2 scoops of
double
protein.
It and give it to me, pal.
Yeah. But
we
yeah,
should do that.
Having some good free munch.
Oh yeah, I got
to see it.
No, it's a Saturday morning, 9:30. I'm going training after this, so I got a few.
Do you think the King's having his overnight oats?
You think King has overnight oats?
Yeah, bro.
What's the King's go-to breakfast, you reckon? I would never say that usually.
Overnight oats. He probably has a quick shake, banana, probably some other fruits with some CMP.
Nah, probably over toasted bread with butter, but the butter's too hard, so it breaks the bread up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, and then someone, because it's so infuriating to him, he just gives a little nod, and then that person who brought the butter gets taken away quietly, and all you hear is just scuffle of the shoes, and they and it's just like, no, but I'm sorry, and then he gets taken away, and then we never hear of Billy ever again. What does he have for breakfast, actually?
This took a turn.
Do you know what? He'd have an English breakfast, wouldn't he?
Well, I suppose.
He's not going to have the continental. He's not going to have some European stuff because we left the EU.
Still in Europe, though. Still in Europe, the continent.
True.
You think he has the black pudding as well? Have you ever had black pudding?
Yeah, it's
grim.
Not for me.
Oh, it's so grim.
Doesn't make sense. Does it?
Literally, like pig blood made into a Jello patty.
Yeah, just doesn't
Disgusting.
Make sense. So many things that the humans have created that's just amazing. Like, look at us. We can see each other. We can talk to each other. And some absolute.
And then you still got people eating.
Oh, this would be a good concoction to make.
Yeah. I saw one meme. It was a picture of beans on toast. I don't know what, as a foreigner, I don't know what the deal is with Brits and their beans on toast. I've had beans on toast before, But Brits absolutely love their beans on toast. It's like the best thing ever. I just don't get it.
It slaps.
You know what?
No,
So
it
like,
slaps. 'Cause
so people are like, "Oh,
it's a combination.
had a banging breakfast today." Just a picture of like burnt toast and just beans. Really?
Yeah, because it's like
Really?
this. Look, ready? It's bread goes in, dang. That goes in there, dang. 2 minutes later, you got all the nutrition you need.
Like mix in an egg, maybe a
Ask
couple slices of bacon or something, Like mix it up a
I
little
I had
bit.
a private interview. I had a private interview with two big CrossFitters. It was Zach George and Matt Fraser, and they both told me they have beans on toast every morning.
I wasn't part of that. Matt Fraser, he's not British.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
but still,
hilarious.
he still knows about the culture. He knows about that culture, David.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. How was your week?
We're gonna get sponsored by Heinz Beans. That'll be sick. I want to get
That
sponsored
would
by
be
Heinz.
funny.
Um,
Except then we'd have to like eat beans every single podcast or something.
yeah, yeah.
I'll do the content and
No, you get
you can
free
eat the
ketchup,
beans.
free
Oh, that's
ketchup,
true.
all the condiments, all the condiments.
That's true.
Um, but yeah, that that we didn't plan that. That conversation just happened in the spur of the moment. That was good.
Yeah.
Um,
How was your week?
um,
How's work? You're done. You're done rugby now, right?
yeah, just had an awards dinner last night, which was nice to see everyone again.
Hmm.
But yeah,
So were you up on the
work.
stage the whole time, just like another award? Oh, Matt Cowley. Thank you. Sit down. Next award. Oh, Matt Cowley.
Yes, okay. My people, look. I mean, I hope
Okay.
you're doing all Broncos right now. Yeah, okay. I'd like to accept this award for being the absolute best lad and the friendliest face of the club, the community member, the glue they call me. They always call me the glue because I hold everything together. Nah, no speeches. I just sat in the corner and just clapped the whole time as
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
I
That's
got
pretty
one
fun though.
mention. They were like, thank you to
Oh,
the backroom staff, uh,
it's
Matt, and
backroom
then
stuff.
mentioned all the other names. Oh, just my name. Okay, cool. I thought I was getting an award, but no, it's all right.
Like, no,
It was
Matt, you
all
didn't have
about
to get up.
rugby,
Sit down.
weirdly
Sit down.
enough.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
boring.
But yeah, that's
Did
about it,
Seb
really.
did Seb have a good speech?
No, no, no. It was our director of
What?
rugby that did all the talking.
Hmm. It's too bad.
That's-
No jokes from Seb
No, in the silence
or
in the back,
Sebi,
already planning for
Sebi as
next
he
year.
likes to be called.
Oh, there you go. Well, there's no going to be part two of that interview now.
Yeah, not a friend of the podcast anymore. That was funny.
He's buying his
Uh,
protein elsewhere now.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh man, my week. You didn't ask, but I'm gonna tell you. I
How's your
just
week,
started
David?
talking.
And that's going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get cut before.
Nice, good, good. I've been playing catch up on like when my parents are here, and I'm basically in August I have to have a 10,000 word. It's like I have to have written 10,000 words as part of like my first year review, and it could be anything. Could be like a literature review. Could be kind of like an intro with some like um, data from your first study. And we're not sure how far along I'm going to be at that point, or like when I actually have to write it. So I've started writing it like 2,000 words in or something. I've just like started ticking off a couple sections that I know won't change, like anatomy and like function of the plantar flexors. And man, it's so difficult. I went in thinking that like I'd read a lot, and I have read a lot, but it's been a lot on like plantar flexion assessment, which is coming up next on the literature review. Review. It's such a difficult word to say. Um, but like anatomy is easy, but then function, like I've read into it, but not as deeply, and it's so annoying. Like you'd read one, or I'd like, wow, type a sentence and then go and read a paper, and then from that paper I'd be like, oh, I should probably mention that. Oh, I should probably like read this other paper. Get that paper. I was like, oh, there's another good reference in there. I should probably read that. And it's just taken much longer than I was anticipating. So I'm gonna have to put in some shifts maybe over the next couple weekends. Ooh, exciting news though. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast. I'm going to Switzerland in a couple weeks. Come on. Going to St. Moritz with British Athletics for their well, they're right there right now for an altitude camp that I'm going up for the last week of the altitude camp, just helping out, doing some testing, driving athletes around. So super excited for that. That's gonna be sick. Have you seen pictures of St. Moritz?
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering if there's still you can do some skiing out there.
Yeah, I doubt there's. I mean, maybe up on the glaciers, but
Yeah, I was checking like what the weather's like, but yeah, no,
mm.
stunning place.
Anyways, should we get into the bulk of things? Some sports news.
Yeah, I was going for a funny transition, but yeah, sports news. Take it away.
Pretty sad one actually this week. We only got one sport news, and it's pretty sad. Tori Bowie passed away, and she was only 32 years old. She passed away like 4 days ago on May 2nd. But before we get into that, just a bit about her. Uh, and I'm going to pull up the tweet. And I remember where I could find it this time. Because last time I think I was like, oh yeah, this thing. And then I just couldn't find it. And it's really embarrassing. It's just embarrassing.
Nice.
So I pulled it up. So Tori Bowie, just a list of her like accomplishments. World 100-meter champion in 2017, Olympic 4x100-meter champion 2016, World 4x100-meter champion in 2017, Olympic 100-meter silver medalist 2016, Olympic 200-meter bronze medalist 2016, World 100-meter bronze medalist 2015. So absolutely decorated. Anyways, super tragic. So only 32 years old, May 2nd, she passed away. And police found her, unfortunately, in her apartment during a wellness check after, I guess, friends and family hadn't heard from her in a couple days. And that's all they're saying. So that's really, really tragic. And obviously we don't know what happened, but it just kind of brings, like, when you see an athlete, especially an athlete, because I think there's been a lot in and around athletes and mental health. When you see an athlete so young pass away, it just does kind of bring up the topic of mental health and always kind of having that support network. And I think Ollie said it last week as well. Not last week, but when we chatted to him, so that you never know what somebody is going through. I think he was talking about or we were talking about strongmen in the gym and how a lot of strongmen struggle with eating disorders, and and I think I said, like, in a gym setting, often those guys, like, you think, oh, they don't have a problem, like they can eat whatever they want or whatever because they're trying to just get huge and strong, um, and I just, like, you never know what somebody is going to through. And obviously, like, they didn't release what, like, how she died, and they probably won't, like, that's not for us to know. But just absolutely tragic news.
No, it's incredibly sad, and yeah, as you said, I mean, bringing something that we learned from a past podcast is is very is extremely viable here. It's important to have people that you can call, and no matter what, even if they don't pick up, but like like it's important to have people that you're able to call and talk to about anything.
Mm.
Um, like it's and even if you don't, it's essential for you just to have that backup, because everyone, life's never just going to be a straight like slope up to St. Moritz, have that 2,000-meter elevation, but like you're always going to go through different points, and you need to have a good support network. That's the importance of community. We're talking about hundreds, that a long time ago. You still have that community because people always need to be surrounded by people to support each other through tough times, to support each other through great times as well. And there's a massive importance in that. And yeah, just find your community. And if you don't have one, then you've got one here.
That's right.
The RSS
Come on.
community.
That's right. Yeah.
where we can have like monthly meetups. Just it's gonna be David and I just for the next 5 monthly meetups. But when we hit it big time, it will be David and I still because we won't have hit it big time. But nah, just yeah, we'll have that. Just get strong community. It's very important.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
so
It is
sad
so
news on
important,
that.
isn't it? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely tragic. And that is all the sports news. Nothing else there. Kind of quiet week, other than that, on the sport front.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess
um,
because the bloody yeah.
because of the coordination. Is that what you're gonna say? Yeah, that's right. For all you,
Really?
for everyone overseas, King Charles coronation is that happening today? Actually, I think so. London
Yeah,
is
yeah,
going
yeah.
to
It
be
is.
an absolute disaster. My girlfriend and I are driving not to London, but to Surrey. So just what is that, south of London, I guess, but not actually. It's like
Yeah,
southwest of London,
Southwest.
past London. So I'm expecting it's going to be pretty nuts, pretty nuts. And then
Yeah.
before getting into the topic of this week, we're down in London on Tuesday. So it's Saturday today. We're down in London on Tuesday. We're filming a podcast. We're also, little teaser, we're
Yeah.
filming a vlog. So it'll be our second vlog, but it'll be the first vlog with not that Ewan wasn't a guest, but with an actual guest. Sorry, Ewan.
Yeah, yeah.
The RSS podcast, Lozzie. Uh, but yeah, so we're doing a vlog down there
The
on Tuesday.
OG.
So keep your eyes out for that. That's really really exciting. And you know what we might need after? I have a feeling after that podcast, after the vlog, after we get put through the ringer, we're gonna need some recovery. Whether it's hot recovery,
Definitely, David.
cold recovery, we're gonna need all of it. So let's get into the topic of the week because it's all about recovery. Real quick recap because we did part one. So this is ice baths or hot packs part two, the recovery dilemma. We did part one, and actually we're just going to talk about cold and hot on the same podcast. But we talked about cold, and it got to like 45 minutes, and we're like, okay, well, we can't talk about hot. So we decided to break it up. So if you want to hear the cold, go go listen to that. It's episode. I'm gonna pull it up. Episode 25. That's a while ago already, isn't it? So episode 25, ice paths or hot packs, the recovery dilemma, part one. And that there we talk everything cold therapy. What kind of different cold therapies, what we thought about ice baths. We also did, or I did, the ice bath like video. So that's on our YouTube channel or on Instagram in 4 different parts. So listen to that if you're interested in it. And today, sorry, Matt, we're going to talk about everything heat. Take it back.
So yeah, and yeah, basically we just talked about cold can reduce inflammation, it can treat existing injuries. So why is heat different? So on a general basis, heat would be different. Very simply, you wouldn't like it's essentially hot. So you can get that through saunas, steam rooms. You can even get it through heat packs, hot water bottles, which I
Mm.
really like at times. I've seen many people use.
Ooh, big hot water
Um,
bottle guy in the winter, Matt. You a big hot water
you know,
bottle guy
look
in
at
the
what I'm
winter.
wearing, bro. You can't
That's
imagine this
true.
just snuggled up with a hot water bottle by the fire like this. Just relax and watch a nice little flick. Um,
Little
just
Hallmark
sat
movie,
there.
a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah, Love Actually or something. Love Actually, just cuddled up with a hot tea, just a beverage in my Tim Hortons. Just
Your low fat hot chocolate.
yeah, my half and half. No, you can't imagine my chocolate milk. What's it? Pumpkin spice latte or something.
Yeah,
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 you can't imagine me there.
yeah, yeah.
Anyways, mate, we are on a roll today with these transitions.
This is good.
Unbelievable.
This is
Anyways,
good.
so on a general note, so those are the sort of rough idea types of heat recovery methods that you guys can use. And on a basis of why that works, well, heat relaxes muscles. So while icy temperatures can help reduce inflammation, heat helps dilate blood vessels and promotes the blood flow. So if your muscle is sort of spasming, heat is best. So is also very common in athletes. I don't know if it's pure science on why they do it or if it's just a preference. Because I know a lot of athletes. Sorry, I know a lot of athletes, and a lot of them do prefer using heat methods. And I mean, in terms of performance, saunas can be used to acclimatize to those uh, different environments that they're going to be competing in. So say if you're doing, for our athletes out there, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it in Loughborough where there's these treadmills in this like hot area, and I think when I was working at Powerbase actually, and Greg goes, "Oh, can you just escort the guy to the heat acclimatization pods or something?" And I went back there, and the poor guy who works for a techno gym carried this big toolbox and was just trying to screw and just sweating because it was like 30 or something degrees in there, and he's just trying to
Well,
sort
they
out these
didn't
treadmills.
turn it down. You're talking. There's like a
Nah,
physiology lab in the back. Like, no, because it's a
poor
heat
guy.
chamber and also an altitude chamber back there as well, so they could do both.
Yeah.
But you're telling me they didn't turn it down for poor guy to like fix it? Maybe that was the problem. It just wouldn't turn off or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought so too, but so I held the door open for him, just stood back
Yeah.
outside, work smart, not hard. And I was like, "You're right, mate. You need water? No?" And he's just on the floor, just still screwing, sweating. I'm like, "Yeah, no, you're all good, boss. You're all good. You're all good." But no. So, and
That's
then
funny.
another thing is, although heat has been researched in the form of like hot water bottles or heat packs, saunas are still relatively new to research, and even more so post workout recovery infrared saunas. Have you seen how like infrared recovery?
Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
I don't
Because
buy
I've
it.
heard
I
very
don't
little. I've
listen.
just heard like
I don't buy it.
anecdotal stuff.
I don't.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I know they have it in England camps, but I don't know. Anyways, I don't know too much about it, so I won't speak further on it. Um, but yeah, have you ever tried any hot water therapy?
Yeah.
Heat
Yeah.
recovery
Yeah.
therapy.
Heat therapy. Yeah, for sure. I guess it just depends on what you're after, as usual. Yeah. So definitely, like, I've read a couple papers as well that shows like heat can help with dom soreness, although the mechanisms aren't really that fully understood yet. And I think I think like kind of these kind of adjunct therapies like cold, heat, maybe infrared. Although I don't know about that one, but who knows? It's a really new one that one I think. But these adjunct therapies, they're obviously really difficult to do studies on because it's hard to blind people. Like they know what's happening, and there's so many different mechanisms going on. It's hard to say that it's only from this or only from that. So I think a lot of it is at the end of the day going to be like what makes you feel good. And like there's been papers that show like it helps with back pain, like heat packs on back pain or like muscle spasms or sore muscles and stuff like that. But I guess the way I look at it is just knowing kind of the mechanisms as far as we know. Like you said, heat um, dilates blood vessels and increases blood flow. So, for example, if you have an injury or something or you have a lot of inflammation, then I wouldn't go heat because it's just going to bring even more inflammation or more blood flow to that area, right? Whereas like cold, if you're looking to maybe decrease inflammation or decrease pain that way, then cold is the way to go. So I guess it depends what what you're looking at. But I think heat has like going away from performance has in the last years been shown hugely to improve cardiovascular health, which is really interesting. And the papers I read had to do more. So they put them in a sauna, and it was shown to alleviate arterial stiffness. So people with really stiff arteries, so really high blood pressure, and it's been shown to alleviate that arterial stiffness in both the carotid and the femoral arteries, which is like two of the biggest arteries in your body, to decrease uh, blood pressure and increase cardiovascular health. So that's huge because anyone can. I'm gonna, not anyone, but no one's going to be like physically unable to sit in a hot room. You know what I mean? So because like their legs, like because they can't walk or they can't do exercise or something. So that's cool. The only thing I would say about that is like saunas and stuff, especially cardiovascular disease, because like if you're on average, the person who's like struggling with cardiovascular disease is probably older, like 60 and above probably. And I think the only thing you have to be like cautious of is thermoregulation in those settings. Because if you have some other like comorbidities going on and you can't thermally regulate your body very well, if you take yourself then into a really really humid and really really hot environment, your body's not going to be able to dissipate that heat at all. It's like, what are the two ways that we dissipate heat? One's like sweating, so putting the heat into sweat, which leaves the body, or bringing bringing blood to the periphery and then it escaping that way, like through our skin, right? But in a hot tub, you can't sweat because the outside environment is more humid, so you're not going to sweat. And also, you can't dissipate heat through your skin because the outside environment is also hotter than your body. Does that make so? So if you're a health like a young or just healthy individual who can like thermoregulate very well, then saunas are no problem. But you see that a lot um, on hot tubs in hotels and stuff that like elderly people aren't supposed to sit in there for a long period of time because they can pass out because their body is not thermoregulating because they're not able to. So that's the only reason why I won't say like anyone can do it because not anyone can do it.
No, that's a really good point in the sense that, like, yeah, obviously, they I guess they can still do it, but they have to be monitored more closely. Like, there's less freedom with how they can use that method of modality of recovery, like heat recovery. Um, but like, you hear a lot of people just trying to create a little excuse, like say for the ice bath, they're like, yeah, but it doesn't work that well. It's like, well, have you ever tried it? And they're like, nah, but it's from the studies, and you're like, you're just scared of cold water, mate. And yeah, just hop right in. Obviously, if you got to look at who you are as a person. If you do have existing physical, what's it like, qualities that could stop you from doing that, then obviously look into it further and see if you can.
Comorbidities
Because
or
yeah, um, but yeah, in
contraindications.
terms of like a study that I read that compared sort of heat with cooling, they stated that because of the differences in the exercise type, temperature, and timing of the use of cold and heat and after exercise in different studies, there is no clear conclusion as to the efficacy of either modality on reducing delayed onset muscle soreness. However, they carried on to test in 100 subjects at similar fitness level. They accomplished leg squats for 15 minutes, and heat and cold were applied after or 24 hours using thermocare for heat and then cold wraps for cold. And then measurements obtained were strength, like the force to passively move the knee, analog visual pain scales, and blood myoglobin. And blood myoglobin is essentially a protein that's found in your striated muscles, which includes skeletal muscles, and heart muscles. Its main function is to supply oxygen to the cells in your muscles, myocytes, and all. Yeah. So essentially, they use those sort of scales or measurements to determine their conclusion. Um, and there was a control subject group, which in turn lost 24% strength after exercise, whereas subjects with heat or cold just after exercise only lost 4% of strength. So, for reducing pain, control subjects showed a significant amount of pain in the days after the exercise, but cold immediately after exercise or 24 hours later was superior to heat in reducing pain. So, using their pain, like I'm not sure the actual number, but heat and cold can be comparable for reducing pain. But in myoglobin, there was a lower percentage for the heat group. I think it was a 20 or 29 point, no, 29 flat percentage in reduction. But I will post it there, David. Here's the study that I'm talking about right now, and I will actually put the study. I will put the study.
No,
Um,
you won't. No, you
but yeah,
won't.
I promise you. I promise you. I will. RSS promise. Just my signature right here, right there.
So that was so sum that up. Sum that up really quickly because I got a little bit lost.
yeah, there was a lot of
Some
things.
of
So basically, eh, in control groups, definitely don't do nothing. So that's one little summary, a key point that you can take. Don't do nothing. Use either cold or heat to help with DOMs, to help with they said that for cold, if you're going to do cold, cold was superior to heat in terms of reducing the pain scale, so like reducing DOMs essentially.
right.
When like performing the leg squats, was it leg squats? Leg squats, leg press.
Nice leg
No,
squats
it was leg squats.
opposed to
No, it
arm
was leg
squats.
squats. No, it was leg squats actually. That's dumb. It's dumb, but I I was right, even though it sounds ridiculous. No, so it was leg squats. And yeah, so they found that 24 hours after when performing the leg squats again, cold was less on the visual, like on the pain analog scale, um, analog visual pain scale. There you go.
Yeah.
And blood myoglobin was found to be lower in heat, no, higher in heat and lower in cold by
Holy smokes.
29%. Sorry, dude.
Matt, that
I've got a lot of
wasn't that
things here.
wasn't a sum up. That was you just saying all of it again.
You So basically, right, if you're looking to reduce pain, you've got a lot of ouchies in your leg, do cold after 24 hours, right?
So cold
It
was
works.
better than hot.
And
Nice.
if you're feeling, yeah, that's if it's ouchies. And if it's feeling tight, like can't move, use heat. Bring some blood flow back into those leg squats that you desirely want to do. That's what that study found.
Nice.
Um,
That was good. That was
and
nice. If it's
was
ouchies
that better?
and if it's tight,
Sick. Yeah,
perfect. Nice.
yeah. If it's
Yeah, that
tight, no
I
ouchies, use heat. Ouchies, no tight, cold.
That's hilarious. Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think again, like what we said before, is that a lot of it's gonna when it's not like a perfect science. I think you can still be like with heat and cold, definitely still be like science led, you know. But at the end of the day, as long as you're allowing yourself to be led by science, and then from that do what feels good or do what works from you or for you, you know. Have you heard about heat shock proteins?
No.
No. So they're proteins in your body that react to different stresses, um, like altitude or external stress. Well, which would be altitude. So that was a stupid things to say, David. Or heat.
Yeah, leg squats. Haha.
Leg squats. That's right. And they're like, and they seem to have a lot of impact on um, possibly like treatment even for disease. But they seem to react to temperature quite a lot as well. And I've read a little bit about it, and it seems at least that they react to heat as well. And the way they react to heat, and I guess this just goes back to kind of the mechanism. And one of the ways they react to heat is an increase in nitric oxide, which is a really strong vasodilator. If you ever take pre-workout, one and also like full pump CMP, full pump will have nitric oxide in it, because it's a vasodilator. So as one of the ways like that they think is a mechanism for the increased blood flow. And vasodilation is just the dilation, for anyone who doesn't know, or the increase in size of your like blood vessels. So bigger blood vessels, or your blood vessels opening up to allow more blood flow through them. So that's pretty interesting. I've heard heat shock proteins also been talked about, and I think this was just on a podcast, for cold as well. And I haven't read much about them at all, so I don't know. The only time I have seen them is when talking about heat therapy. Well, speaking about podcasts, you wanted to bring up the Huberman podcast, which is just your all-time
Oh,
favorite.
mate, this is an absolute dream. So he's got an hour and 53 minutes. A bit short, mate. Come on.
Yeah, give us something at
Listener
least.
retention.
Jeez.
Come on. No, so he's got an hour and 53 minutes where he describes the mechanisms by which deliberate heat exposure impacts body temperature, metabolism, heart health, hormone production, exercise recovery, exposure, mood, and longevity all gets affected by heat. and he just details specific protocols for deliberate heat exposure, including times. And then he talks about a bit about sauna versus hot bath versus open air heat. And then,
Mm.
to be fair, he's got a list of articles. Mate, this can be so good. These articles, where he discusses that. So it's very good. And in there he talks about how sauna can enhance the muscle recovery process by increasing blood circulation and carrying oxygen-rich blood to oxygen-depleted muscles. And he said like he in turn he uses saunas a lot. And I remember him speaking to Joe Rogan about this, another big fan of this podcast, and where he spoke about like what sort of temperatures they do. Oh, and they were saying these temperatures, and I was in the car listening to this, and I was like, well, that's Fahrenheit, so that means nothing to me right now, and I can't check it because I'm driving, and of course I've forgotten the numbers.
Well, it's probably
But
like
no, that on
120 or something like that Fahrenheit.
something ridiculous.
A
But
hundred, a
I remember
hundred
them talk.
Fahrenheit is around 40 Celsius. So it's
Yeah.
probably
I think
like a hot tub's usually like 105 or 110.
probably around that because
So
I
it's
remember they were
probably
talking like I think obviously Joe Rogan, the extremist, massive guy, like just he was on. He said something over like one. He was like saying 130, something crazy like in Celsius, like I'd say 50 or something. And he sits in there for like 20 minutes, like an absolute tank, just sweating. But
and
yeah,
saunas, I
they
think
were talking about it
saunas you can
anecdotally.
sorry, just a quick thing. Saunas, I think you can have hotter than hot tubs because you're not immersed in
Yeah,
water. So because it's a dry
so it
heat,
can release and
like
sweat.
you can still sweat, so it's okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway,
Uh,
anecdotally, what were you saying?
uh, yeah, no, I was just gonna ask you: have you done steam room or sauna, or both? Sorry, have you done both?
I've done both, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know about you, but I like steam rooms like the okay, how do I say this? Steam room is like steam room is like a calmer version of the sauna. Obviously, it's different sort of type of heat exposure because one's more humidity based, the other one's just dry heat.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I always found the sauna just to be more even on a, like a internally, I just thought I'd felt so much better after a sauna. Like I felt more, my muscles felt looser in a sense. Like, mate, when I hit legs, right, after 4 weeks every year, once a year, when I hit legs and those DOMs are hitting hard, I just getting into there was a nice little David Lloyd I go to, jacuzzi, little hot tub, and yeah, I can tell you, like anecdotally, I haven't, obviously taken a muscle out and examined it, but you do feel so much better, like mentally as well. You just feel clearer. So even if you're not doing this for performance benefits, there's so many general properties that you can take from it in the sense that even if you're not doing it for even if you don't go to the gym or exercise, there's still so many benefits and advantages you can take just from immersing yourself into hot water or just going to a sauna.
Yeah.
Should we get
Yeah,
the
I
nicest
mean
saunas for £3,000? They're expensive.
it doesn't hurt. Yeah, little imagine having like a little backyard sauna. But yeah, I mean it doesn't hurt. And I guess like as a little sum up, I guess what we've read is like obviously it's going to increase blood flow. So if you're looking for increased blood flow, whether it's like decreased pain from DOMs maybe or especially tight muscles, it could possibly help. But it seems like what you're saying, right? Ice works better for pain from DOMs and heat seems to work better to relieve stiff muscles. So take that as you will. Um, I've probably done more ice baths than I have saunas in my life, but maybe that's just because you can have an ice bath wherever. So
And then just quickly before we log off or anything, do not do the sauna. Well, I highly recommend you not doing a sauna before your workout. We are talking
oh,
about post-workout recovery modalities. And if you
yeah,
are doing a sauna, rehydrate as soon as possible.
that's
Unless
a
you're
good
trying to
point.
make weight for a fight, but obviously that's an exception. Um, do rehydrate. It is dangerous to just sauna for like say 20 minutes, just sweat and get in the shower and then just walk off. Because
That's a good
you will
point.
be
Yeah.
extremely dehydrated. And then
Yeah.
do not plan to stay in a sauna longer than 20 minutes unless you've been
Nice.
advised to from a medical professional. And then with the heat, don't go ridiculous heat 2 minutes. That doesn't make sense. You want to keep it nice, steady, and balanced. What do people always say? Just balance is the key to everything. Don't go to any extreme. And if you do want to go to an extreme, heavily research that, because if you're the only one doing it, then there may be an issue. You may be a pioneer, but you may be a dumb pioneer that will fall short.
You also might be
So do
dead.
use this with
Yeah,
everyone.
definitely.
Yeah,
It's like ice, right? Like, you don't have to be sitting on ice, so you'll burn yourself. And the same thing goes for heat. You can really hurt yourself. And like you were saying, just be smart. Like, you don't go super hot and then only a couple minutes. Be in there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If you're someone who struggles with thermoregulation, be very careful. I would definitely recommend talking to a doctor before you do any sauna or hot tub, especially if you struggle with thermoregulation, because that can just bring you into a world of difficulties and problems, and just put you at greater risk. Um, yeah, nice. That was a nice little thing. Little
no,
thing.
no, no. I saw the
Do,
time when you hit me with that little roundup. I saw the time. Went, bloody hell! I didn't think we were that deep into it. That's a bit crazy.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, no.
but speaking about deep into it, let's get deep into some quick fire questions. What mythical creature did you believe that was real?
Probably the Ogopogo, which is the Canadian version of the Loch Ness monster. So the Loch Ness monster.
Nice. Do public restrooms make you self-conscious?
No, no.
Nice.
Unless I
If you,
really have to let
what
out,
anim?
unless I really gotta unload, and then you're like, and it's always quiet. Like they
I saw
need
that.
to have. So maybe the answer is yes. They need to have like loud music going on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back. It's the RSS podcast. No, so what world record do you think you have a shot at beating?
Longest time laying in bed.
Nice. Okay, that's a good one. If you could, what is the biggest animal you think you could beat in a fight?
Oh, that's a good question. The biggest animal? So I just have to think of like a
Mm.
big dumb animal. I don't know. Um, the only animals I can
Okay,
think of
let
are
me
right now.
let me shout animals to you. I'll
Yeah,
shout
yeah, that's
animals
a
to you.
good.
Ready?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, go.
All right. A cat.
Yes.
Wow, so you'd beat up a cat, David. Guys, RSS, get at him. He just said he'd beat. No, a chicken, a scary chicken.
A scary chicken. I think I could take on a scary
Scary.
chicken. Yeah.
All right.
Anything small, you could just all you need is one good boot. You know?
Yeah,
It's
German Shepherd.
oh, didn't think of dogs.
Crazy, eh?
If it's an angry German Shepherd, I don't know.
All right, all right. We'll take away dogs because they are proper evil.
Wait. Do I get
Uh,
this has gone past the realms of quick fire questions, but do I get a weapon, or do I have to bear
no.
do
Yeah,
do I
caveman
have to
style.
bear do I have to bare knuckle it?
You're in a
Can I?
desert, right? There could be rocks around. If you find a rock, then that's your weapon. I don't know why I did it like
Right.
that. That's your weapon. But what other animal? Okay. Anteater,
Yeah. This is very difficult. This is a
ostrich.
difficult question because ooh, if I got lucky, maybe.
Just get its
This is a
long neck.
difficult. I feel like there's only two types of animals. Animals you could beat very easily, like a scary chicken or a cat, and then there's like gorillas, chimps, lions, tigers, bears, cougars, and everything else. Kangaroos. There's nothing like in the middle. Actually, maybe kangaroo if you got lucky. But but even if a kangaroo, you know what the biggest animal is that I think I could take on? I've got it.
What?
A cow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not a bull, but a cow.
No,
That's
a
a good one.
cow. They're big,
A
right?
cow.
What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Because they just don't know their own strength. Like a horse,
Could you beat up a
a
horse?
horse gets no, because horses get angry and they'll
Yeah.
just kick you and you're done. You know.
What about a donkey?
Also,
Sorry. Another
yeah, that's a
question.
good one. Yeah, any
This one's
kicking,
quick though.
it's the kicking, you know. Okay, go.
What do you think is the key to living a good life?
Oh, this is a quick one, hey. The key to living a good life. Um, I think a big part, at least for me, is finding people who are on the same wavelength than you, and like what you said earlier, finding your community. Find your community with people who um, understand you, who you can be yourself around. I think is a big thing, and then we'll leave the podcast on. Is this the last question?
I was just gonna do a little quote at the end that would
Oh,
feed into
I've
this
got a
last
quote.
answer.
I've got a quote.
Nice.
Do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. And I think if you live that way, you'll be fine.
There you go. And in the words of Marcus Aurelius, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be. There you go, that guy. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Waste no time arguing about what a good person should be. Just be one.
We hope you enjoy the podcast. As always, make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, comment below what you think, what you thought about this one or other ones. Hit that subscribe button wherever it is. If you're listening to it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, there's so many different places you can find your podcasts. Wherever you're finding your podcast, make sure you follow us there. Hit us up on Instagram. We're on TikTok as well, Twitter. Follow us there, interact with us. Let us know what you think about the podcast. If you'd like to hear something else or something more, if you have a guest that you think we should get on, just let us know. We love the interaction. Until next time, we are the Real Sports Science Podcast, and we're out.